salty Gulf Coast to the rolling high plains, to the piney woods in the east. All across our dear Texas, folks need good food to eat. Our farmers and ranchers are heroes. They've always made Texas great. Texas agriculture matters. It's the heart of the Lone Star State. Oh, Texas got it all, y'all.
Well, howdy, neighbors. I'm Commissioner Sid Miller with the Texas Department of Agriculture. Thank you for joining us for another episode of Texas Agriculture Matters right here on RFD TV. Hey, on this show, we've looked at the importance of genetic science in improving livestock production. We've also examined the critical role of youth organizations like the FFA and 4-H in guiding the next generation of our agriculture leaders. Today, we're going to take a look at an industry that lies at the crossroads of science and youth education, and that is the art of breeding show pigs. That's right. Well, Texas, we're pretty far down the list when it comes to producing pork. We're a national leader in show pig production. Texas youth organizations show tens of thousands of pigs in the major competitions every year. As a matter of fact, Texas is the envy of the country in the number of animals shown and the amount of scholarship money awarded to these winners. Swine showmanship is a time-honored tradition that builds character, teaches important life lessons, and even strengthens families. The show pig industry is expanding rapidly, as is the number of breeders helping to breed winners in every category. Texas is now a national leader in the number of swine breeders listed with the National Swine Registry. These breeders working hard to improve swine genetics, not for just commercial production, but to provide better show pigs for our youth programs. So today, we're going to take a look at a college agriculture science program in East Texas that's not only giving their students the life skills and hands-on agriculture expertise they need to succeed, but they're also providing top quality show pigs for use in competitions all across the state. And we'll talk to an educator and show pig producer and get his take on this important industry. So, sit back, relax, let's take a closer look at how breeding show pigs is just another way Texas agriculture matters.
At the Stephen F. Austin Swine Center in Nacogdoches, you'll find Dr. John Michael Mahaffey as happy as a pig in slop, as they say. Although no slop around these pig pens, this breeding facility is kept pristine for these prized animals.
I think in the state of Texas, we are dealing much more so with the show pig industry and really trying to help our youth develop those leadership and responsibility skills that they wouldn't have otherwise. And it's a huge business in the state of Texas. I mean, given that our youth shows and our scholarship programs through those youth shows and allowing the students those opportunities.
Mahaffey is the Associate Professor of Animal Agriculture at SFA. He joined the ranks of academia in 2012, following a career in research and development in the meat industry. He also has hands-on experience from showing pigs as a teenager.
I think one of the most rewarding fields that's out there, and also probably a field where all the universities in Texas could probably work as hard as we could and not fulfill all the ag teaching jobs in the state. And that's a place, again, where we've talked about ag teachers shaping the lives of young people. And it's different than a classroom teacher because there's so many outside of the classroom experiences you can have when you're in a van running up and down the road, or doing a judging contest or a speaking contest or anything along those lines. And I think our youth involved with agriculture, it just means a lot more to them. And like I said, it helps us know now where our food comes from, because we literally have people in this country that think chocolate milk comes from brown cows.
Students get direct, real-life experience in swine production, from reproduction and health to sales. He says this program is vitally important because of the number of students who want to be veterinarians but have no experience with farm animals.
At SFA, it is specifically important because any given year, a freshman class is between 50 and 60% from urban areas. Here at SFA, most of our freshmen come in as pre-vet majors, and being from those urban areas, they have very little experience with FFA, 4-H, or any animals beside dogs and cats. And so every year, I literally have students that are animal science majors who have never touched a pig, never smelled a pig, never even touched a cow. And so the fact that we can get them in here, and even if it's just one lab day where they get to hold a baby pig and ear notch it and dog its tail and see what it smells like and hear the sounds, the squeals they make, it makes a huge impression on a lot of those students.
Mahaffey says there's not a large market for commercial swine in Texas, so this center focuses on providing livestock for 4-H and FFA students to exhibit in the show arena.
I think it's a huge step, especially in today's world, of making sure that we kind of hook those youth and let them know how important that agriculture is. And a pig's kind of one of those easy projects. Yeah, maybe 4 months long that you have them, but it's one of those easy projects that you can do and learn a lot from. And as we keep dwindling in agriculture, I think it's important to get more and more youth involved. And so the fact that we do have the show pig industry, I think it really helps us.
I'm Tammy Arender for Texas Agriculture Matters.
Howdy, neighbors. I'm pleased to have with me Kevin Big Cat Thomas of Thomas Show Pigs and Boar Stud in Jacksboro, Texas. Kevin's also an agriculture teacher there at Jacksboro High School, and he has over 25 years experience in the classroom. I'm telling you, he's one tough guy if he can do it for 25 years. Kevin, thanks for being on the show and sharing with us today. So tell us a little bit about your background and how you got to be such a rock star in the world of show pigs.
Well, just a little bit. I grew up there in Jacksboro and went to school at Tarleton and came back and started teaching, and a lot of my students were into the show pigs, and it started off first raising a few to try to help them, and then kind of turned it in just doing a little extra side business to help my two kids with things they want to do and put back a little bit more for their college education. It's kind of how we got started.
Well, you know, I can certainly relate to that. Now I understand you and your wife run the business along with your kids, what are the challenges with a family business like that?
Well, they're really from Texas, we didn't come into it or weren't born into it, so we started from scratch, from facilities to having to have all the practical knowledge of raising and farrowing pigs year round. And as we've added the boar stud of collecting boars and sending and packaging semen and sending all over the United States, all that stuff was a learning curve that we kind of had to get through.
Oh, wow. So tell us a little bit more about the show pig industry and some of the science behind breeding winners. I know it's just not happenstance.
Yeah, sure.
You've got to calculate it.
Well, it's one of those things, like if you're in the trenches of what we talk about of being in the show industry. I travel all over the United States judging shows. I travel all over the United States looking for boars or the hottest genetics to make those show pigs better for those students. And that's your end goal, is to stay in the business, is you've got to be competitive and got to be on the edge when it comes to that science. So I would say probably studying and traveling and judging to stay current where you're at is really what helps you stay on the edge of the show pigs.
You know, when people think of Texas, they think of longhorns and maybe fast horses. They're not necessarily a pig country.
Yes, sir.
But why do you think the show pig industry has had such huge success here in Texas? It's kind of a secret no one knows about. So how is Texas regarded to other states that raise hogs?
We're pretty well the mecca or the platform. I mean, most of those states, when you look at our state for the opportunities our youth have at the multiple major stock shows across the United States, and then you take that to district shows and county shows, there's a very big need for those animals. And we are known as one of the bigger stock show states in the nation, and they pretty well try to pattern their shows after what we do in Texas and the South. So yes, it's a very, very big deal. And if you think about it, of how many hundreds of thousands of animals are sold every year, that's a very big market share of agriculture.
It sure is. Hey folks, we'll be right back with more from Kevin Big Cat Thomas right here on Texas Agriculture Matters. Stay tuned. Well, welcome back to Texas Agriculture Matters right here on RFD TV. I'm Texas Agriculture Commissioner Sid Miller, and I'm here with Kevin Big Cat Thomas from Thomas Show Pigs, and we're talking hogs today. Now, Kevin, in our intro to this show, I talked about the role of breeders in supporting agriculture youth programs here in Texas, and we talked about the stock shows. You know, as a former ag teacher myself, you know, I'd like to hear your thoughts as an educator on how swine and other livestock shows have, you know, help build character in our young Texans.
Well, I think when you go back to the core when we started, we were trying to build young people to have responsibility, some work ethic, and those things, and all those. I always tell the kids every day, it's so much more than the banner. We're just trying to build a young person to be out and be a successful adult, a successful human in the world. And I think now as we look at what we've been through the last year, teaching those kids even more perseverance, you know, just like a farmer and a rancher, they've got to depend on rain every day to make their crops or those kind of things. These kiddos this year went into it not knowing for sure if there would be a show.
Well, when a lot of them, there were no shows.
Yes,
I mean, they got canceled. I want you to go into that, but you're teaching them responsibility, leadership, how to keep finances,
Yes, sir.
record keeping, all of that. It plays a part of it. So it turns out a well-rounded individual. So what did you think about the cancellation of all these stock shows, and how did that affect the pig industry? How did it affect your students?
Well, it was very difficult because you had to look at students and tell them for the first time in my career, I couldn't guarantee a kid what tomorrow was going to bring. And so you just got to be honest and transparent with the kiddos and their parents and say, we're not for sure if there'll be a show or not, but we're for sure the things this program teach you will happen. We'll have county show level shows, but you will be a better person. You will learn some work ethic. You are going to learn responsibility. And we just hope and pray that we get to have those opportunities for them down the road. And the majority of them have come through. Now they've looked different, and it's different in how we travel. It's different in how we got. But we just thank God that those kids had those opportunities.
Well, you know, you've given us some good advice, but what can you tell someone? I think you've inspired some people maybe to think about getting back in the hog business, the show pig business. Mm-hmm. What have you got some advice, someone that's maybe thinking about starting an operation?
Well, it's nothing more than building relationships, and any business you run is about building communication or building a friend group or anything else. Get in there, build your brand. It doesn't matter if you're selling show pigs or steers or cattle or horses or whatever you're doing, you've got to go get good at your craft and then use your relationships of meeting people and contacts to grow your business. And people are going to stick with you. If you're doing a good job and providing a quality product, standing behind what you say you're going to do and doing what you say you're going to do, they're going to come back to you every year. And I think that's the big thing for our business is we just do what we say we're going to do and then just keep pushing forward.
You know, I just call that cowboy logic.
Yes, sir.
Do what you say you're going to do and back that up. Yeah. So here comes the hard question I ask everybody. It'll be our last question today. So you're in the show pig business. You're an agriculture educator. You know, you've been competitive all your life, sports, livestock shows, leadership teams you've trained over the years. So why do you think Texas agriculture matters?
I think it's just back to the very simple. When we went through the pandemic, I mean, production agriculture is the basis of life, no matter what your population is, no matter what ethnic group, no matter economic, anything. Production agriculture is, and I get to blend both of them and work with youth. Two of the biggest commodities in our state is our youth and production agriculture, and I think those are where we're headed.
Well, and you took the words right out of my mouth. I tell everybody the greatest natural resource we have in the state of Texas is our youth.
Sir.
Kevin, thank you so much for coming on the show today and sharing your passion for the show pig industry. Give my best to your family and best of luck in the future. God bless you. Thank you. Now, stay tuned, friends, as we take another look at a great Go Texan business. For over 20 years, the Texas Department of Agriculture's Go Texan program has helped promote products made right here in the Lone Star State. From boots to salsa, Go Texan members make the best stuff on earth. Now, friends, let's take a look at one of these fine Texas businesses and why they are Go Texan proud.
Go Texan every day.
I'm Melissa Bennett. I am the co-owner of Sister to Sister with my sister Ashley Randall. And we just wanted something that was easy for moms to come through, wanted to taste homemade so that, you know, if you took it, you're like, you don't have to tell them someone else made it. We wanted it in a really pretty red box, so it looked like a gift where you didn't have to go to another store with your children, dragging them in tow and trying to find something else to put them in. So we wanted it to be the full deal package where everything was baked fresh daily. We hand scoop them, no artificial sweeteners, anything like that. And so it's just taken off. We have gotten corporate orders, and we've been in business since 2011 officially, when we started out. And we moved over here 3 years ago just so we could combine all of our production and our sales. So
I didn't even know that this place even existed. Our daughter was in an accident, a go-kart accident. She flipped her go-kart and broke her arm and her hand. We were brought to Tyler by an EMS, like through an ambulance. And we were there for many days, and some people from our church and where we live, they were like, hey, we're gonna send y'all a treat. And so we got these like amazing like bags that just appeared at the hospital with warm chocolate chip cookies, and they literally changed our lives. We were like, we can do 1 more day or 2 more days in the hospital because we had the cookies.
the pecan chocolate chip is the original, and it's always my go-to. And over the years, we have added to our flavors. We, of course, chocolate chip and snickerdoodle are our top 2 flavors. We also have 3 oatmeals. We have a white chocolate macadamia, a double chocolate. Each of them are inspired by friends or family, each of our cookies. And then we do a seasonal cookie. Like this month is lemon. One of my really good friends loves lemon, so we came up with a lemon cookie. And we just try to keep it new and fresh every month. We don't bring them back on special requests. We just want you to come back on that month. And we freeze them so they work well. Even if you need a lemon in December, you can save that for later. So
being able to support our local businesses means that you support your neighbors, the people who live on the right and the left of you. And so that's what it's all about, just community.
We just bring uniqueness like you can't find anywhere else in the country, and that is so important. I've gone to the state fair since I was in high school, and you know, they've had the Go Texan booth forever, and I love going there and looking for those products and supporting those companies. I know it's their passion, and I want to support them, and everything I've tried is amazing, so I just think it's huge.
Farmers and ranchers are basically the backbone of our state. Like without them, we won't have the things that we need to just have our everyday lives. And so it's real important that we support companies that are local, that invest back into those farming companies, that whether it's the milking industry or the cattle industry or whatever. If we don't have and support those industries, then we would just be in a really world of hurt for them.
I always spot the Go Texan mark when I'm shopping at local grocery stores, whether it's a pickle. I love pickles, salsas, anything, and I always am looking for that Go Texan mark to make sure, that I know it'll stand up above the others. So I love to support our farmers. I'm always at our local farmers market every weekend. We support blueberry picking. We love the festivals in towns, their products. It just from the base up. I mean, you get such good products. I have local Texas pecans that go into our cookies, and I just love that we can resource and help those others out where we can. And whether it's wine festivals, blueberries, our barbecue, I mean, it comes from the ground up, from meats to produce, everywhere. If we can help out those communities that are raising our products. I'm Melissa Bennett. I'm with Sister Cookies, and I'm Go Texan proud.
Well, neighbors, thank you for joining us for another episode of Texas Agriculture Matters. Hey, I hope you learned a little bit about the show pig industry and what it means for agriculture youth programs here in our state of Texas. In developing this show today, I learned there's a new reality show about the show pig industry and it's streaming on another network. And as with most TV reality shows, it sounds like there's a lot more show and very little reality. Youth livestock shows can be high pressure and stressful. After all, those kids have invested a lot of time and effort and heart, and the parents have invested a lot of money in those show animals, and there's scholarship money at stake here. But that stress is also a good life lesson. Anything worth winning is worth worrying about. Showing animals requires a lot of hard work, early mornings, sleepless nights. Those are all good lessons for a successful life. So congratulations to all the young men and women and their families who are right now working so hard to bring an animal to the show. Keep up the great work. As always, I'd like to close by saying thanks to every Texas farmer and rancher who works from sunrise to sunset to provide the food and fiber we all need and helps keep our rural heritage alive. Finally, here's today's cowboy logic. Now remember, there's a difference between being involved and being committed. And that's the difference between ham and eggs. The chicken was involved, but that pig was committed. Thank you, God bless. And remember, friends, Texas agriculture matters.
From the salty Gulf Coast to the rolling high plains, to the piney woods in the east, all across our dear Texas, folks need good food to eat. Our farmers and ranchers are heroes. They've always made Texas great. Texas agriculture matters. It's the heart of the Lone Star State.